Good morning, everyone. Come on in and join us. For those of you who are joining us on the replay, thanks so much for coming in and checking it out. And don't forget, if you'd like to be a part of our live interaction, we try to do our best to come here live Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, we do have some days where that just doesn't work in the schedule. So we do our very best to be here. But for those of you who are joining us live, as you come in, make sure you come in and say hello. I have missed y'all the last couple of days as we were all celebrating the 4th of July and all that kind of good stuff. But y'all, it is time to get back to work. So that is what we are doing here today. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed and prayers going out, that the broadcast is working properly, as I was having some technical difficulties, which is why I got on here a couple minutes late, because for some reason it just kept sitting there doing this like spinning and this connecting. So I had to go out and come back in and try to restart again and all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully it's working. So today we are going to be discussing a little bit about sponsoring. Okay, so if you are ready and eager to sponsor, then I hope you are in here, and I hope you are ready to hear some of what I'm ready to share with y'all today. So like I said, as you come in, make sure you say hello. Let me know that you're here, because sometimes Facebook does not do a very good job of letting me know when people are in. So make sure you let me know as you come in. So what we're going to share today, and y'all, I know, I'm sorry, I always say we. My husband is not here with me, but yet I always say we because this is our business. So anytime you hear me say we, sometimes it means just me, but I'm so used to saying we when it comes to our business. So that's what I always say. So all right, so again, tips on sponsoring. So for those of you ready to sponsor, just let me know down in the comment stream if that's something you are ready for. So we have a total of 8 tips that I will be sharing with you today. So the first one is, wait, real quick, can we just do this real quick? I see it says that we have one person on, but I don't know if that person is able to comment, or if comments are coming through and I'm simply not seeing that person who's on. Would you please comment below just to let me know that it is definitely working? Because like I said, I was having some technical difficulties this morning. Apparently with my mouth too. So, okay, good. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for saying hi. Okay, that lets me know that you can hear me and all is well. Okay. All right. So number 1 for tips on sponsoring is share the opportunity with everyone. And y'all, I am not even kidding. When I say share with everyone, I'm saying like anyone who will give you the time of day to be able to share even just a little bit, even just a little snippet of information. Good morning, Terry. So share the opportunity with absolutely everyone. Okay, here's the thing, y'all would be amazed how many people, just as an example, okay, so the Buffy's Toolbox group, okay, there are probably, if I'm remembering correctly, about 60 membership requests that I have not yet processed because they either one, haven't messaged me with a jeweler number to let me know that they are in fact a jeweler, because as we're getting bigger, it seems I need to be doing that. Or B, that they have not, I don't remember if I said 1 or A, so 2 or B, whichever. Okay, I'll explain here in a second why it's been such a long morning already. But anyway, needless to say, I can't process the request because they didn't message me. And when I go to their profile, you want to know how much I see about Premier on their profile? Big fat 0. There's nothing. Y'all, you cannot share the opportunity with everyone if no one knows what you do. Okay, so make sure that you have Premier listed as your employer or as your job title or whatever, have that listed in your profile. This seems so silly to me. Like, I don't understand why people don't have this in there. And the funny thing is, I have already seen where people have literally like 10 other jobs listed, and it might even be like, I've seen some who were like queen at my own domain or things like that, but yet nothing about Premier. Nothing. Well, if people don't know what you do, they don't even understand that you have an opportunity that you could possibly share with them. So make sure people know what you do. Have that in your profile. Be wearing jewelry in your profile pictures. Now, this is, again, listen, this wasn't actually supposed to be on here. We're going to discuss it anyway, because evidently somebody needs to hear it, okay? If me, who is a jeweler, comes to your page and has a hard time determining whether or not you are in fact a Premier Designs jeweler, then someone who does not have a Premier trained eye is going to have no idea, okay? So make sure your Facebook profile says what you do. Make sure your Facebook profile says you are, in fact, a Premier Designs jeweler. Make sure that your profile pictures show you wearing Premier Designs jewelry, okay? Just saying. All right. Good morning, Chantel. All right. So the first one was, sorry for that little tangent. Not quite sure where that came from. Okay. So number one is share the opportunity with everyone, with anyone who will give you a chance. And this doesn't mean spewing out the marketing plan to those who didn't ask for it. That's not what this means. But what this means is when you run into people that you haven't seen in a while, or when you're first meeting someone and they say, "So what do you do?" Tell them what you do and make it sound intriguing enough that they're going to want to know more information, okay? And make sure they know that that's something that is available to anyone and everyone who wants to be a part of it, okay? All right, number two, at home shows. Share the opportunity at home shows. Do not ever, 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 ever skip the opportunity presentation or opportunity activity, I should say. Okay, do not ever skip that at a home show. Do y'all know that I went to my first jewelry show when I was 18? Not only did I have no idea that this was a business opportunity, but I didn't even know that like I could book a show. There was nothing. There was no booking activity. There was no sponsoring activity. I had no idea. Like, I literally thought this woman was just selling jewelry out of her trunk. I had no idea what was actually happening there. Okay, so do not ever skip doing an opportunity activity at your jewelry shows. Now listen, this opportunity activity can be anything you want it to be. Just make sure that it is creating some interest. And if you are not receiving at least one maybe or yes to wanting to know more information about the business opportunity, and as an example, I have on my guest surveys a spot where they can mark that, you know, if you promise not to stalk me, I'll admit that I'm slightly curious to know more about the business opportunity and would like to schedule an appointment just to hear some more information. Okay. So anyone who marks maybe or yes on that would be someone that is interested in hearing more about, you know, the opportunity. If you're not getting at least one from every show, then you might want to take a look at the opportunity activity that you're doing, okay? Now, if Miss Terry is still on here, she might be able to tell you how just changing your sponsoring activity can make all the difference in the world, okay? Because it truly can. I, for the longest time, was doing big money because that's just what people were doing. And so I tried that. I tried the Ask It Basket, because that's just what people were doing. And I was not getting the interest. However, I went over to doing Ask Me Questions About My Job, which is essentially the Ask It Basket, but the questions aren't guided. which means they get to ask anything they want. And I think it seems more freeing to them that they can just ask whatever they want. And it really gets their wheels turning. Okay. So in just doing that, I started leaving each and every show with at least one person who was wanting to hear more. Okay. So yes, Terry. So she says, yes, 3 in 1 show. Okay. And this was just something. And Terry, I was just thinking about you the other day, remembering about our conversation on the plane and all that kind of good stuff. I was thinking about you every year coming up on Rally. I always think about you. So needless to say, yes, 3 new jewelers, that is. Isn't that awesome? Y'all, I'm telling you. And that's all she changed, okay, was just ask me questions about my job. They get 3 minutes to ask as many questions as possible. And then following the presentation, anyone who is asking a ton of questions, you can just go up to them and say, hey, so I just had a quick question because I know you were asking a lot of questions during the show. And as promised, I'm not going to stalk you, but I was just curious if you had any additional questions that you didn't get a chance to ask during our 3-minute time frame. Okay. And many times that leads to additional questions. As many of you know, I have sponsored a few jewelers right there at the show that before I even left the show, they already had a jeweler number because I approached them afterwards and simply said, was there anything else that you were curious about that you didn't get a chance to ask questions on? And it just kind of opens that door. Okay. All right. Number 3 is make yourself duplicable. Make yourself duplicable. Now, ladies, we have talked about jewelry displays. We have talked about home shows, things like that. Listen, if it takes you an hour and a half to set up for a jewelry show, you are not being duplicable. Okay. Good morning, Rachel. So, yes, so you want to make sure that you are being duplicable. If a new jeweler comes in, does she feel like, or even a prospect who's kind of sort of looking at this, does she feel like she could do what you do? Okay, I can tell you as an example, I use a flip chart. Still, after over 10 years, I use a flip chart, and here's why. While yes, most of the information is tucked away up in here, and I could probably do a show without it, I also want to, there's a couple of reasons for that flip chart. One, you have some people who are going to learn better through visual versus others who learn better through audio. Okay, so basically they either get to hear me say it or they see what I'm saying on the flip chart, and it's going to help them regardless of which way they learn. All right, so it gives the opportunity for more people to understand what it is that I'm doing and sharing and everything else, and tends to help it stick better. Okay. Now, that being said, it's because I also want prospective jewelers to look at me. And I even say this at the beginning of my show. I say, ladies, I would really love to encourage you to simply watch what it is that I'm doing. You're going to see that my job is really rather simple and fun. If you can read from a flip chart and you can put jewelry out on a table, you can do my job. I have no doubt about it. So I would love for you to just watch me. And at the end of the presentation, if you decide that you'd like some more information, I'd love to simply share that with you. Perhaps maybe you or someone you know is in need of additional income, and I'd love to help you out there. And then I just move on with introducing myself and things like that. But I even show them, I spin my flip chart around and show them that even on my personal story, I have notes on the back. So just in case I would start to lose my place, get interrupted or things like that, that they know that they could literally read from the back of a flip chart until they're a little bit more comfortable. That helps them be able to see themselves doing my job. Me encouraging them at the beginning of the show to say, ladies, just watch me. You're going to see that this is really simple and fun. Okay. It automatically puts them in that mindset of paying attention. Okay. And because of the fact that it literally only takes us 15 minutes to set up our jewelry display, we only make one trip in, one trip out. Okay. So because of the fact that we don't take a ton of stuff, the show is literally right there in the flip chart, and I make those files available to every new jeweler. You would not believe the number of times I am asked during the Ask Me Questions About My Job, so this flip chart thing that you use, now is that something that you created or is this something that the company offers? And I always tell them that while it's something that I've created, it is something that I make available to every new jeweler who joins my team. Okay, because what they're really asking is, if I were to sign up and do this, do I have to create that or would the company provide that for me? Okay, so you really want to make sure that you are being duplicable. If you are not using a flip chart, I highly recommend it. If you are taking over 200 pieces to your show, I highly recommend that you cut back. Okay, if you're making more than one trip to and from your car, I highly recommend that you cut that back. Okay, the whole purpose is for them to be able to see themselves doing what you're doing. And if you mess up, laugh at yourself. Okay, have fun with it. And as you are fumbling and dropping jewelry on the ground, say, you know what? See, anybody can be a jeweler. You too could do this, and just kind of laugh about it. Okay, just laugh it off, because don't get nervous about the fact that you messed up. Be almost thankful that you did, because what happens is it makes you seem more human to them, okay? You then become more relatable because they're already thinking, there's no way I could be up there doing what she's doing, okay? So keep that in mind. Terry, I loved that opportunity to be able to sit with you on the plane as well. I loved it. Loved it. Okay. All right. Number four is invite every single guest to an opportunity presentation. Y'all, this is something that I need to get better at. This is something that I want to make sure that I am doing more of, is to set aside one evening every single week. So maybe it is that you say, okay, every Monday night at my home at 6:30 or 7 o'clock or whatever time frame you choose, I'm going to hold a group opportunity presentation. And at every single one of your shows, consider handing out a card that says the next 3 opportunity presentations are this date, and this date. And I will give you a free, $10 coupon just for coming, or a free gift just for attending, or whatever. And have it that when they RSVP to let you know that they will definitely be there, that you will put them in a drawing for another gift. Okay, or things like that. So you can really kind of change that up however it is that you would like, but using some sort of gift card or reward for them coming to that opportunity presentation is really going to help kind of increase that. And if you were doing this every week, then okay, so as an example, I do shows on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Those are the only days that I offer in-home shows, okay? So for me, it would be beneficial to do Monday evenings, every Monday, that at those shows on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, that I could be handing out cards to let them know that the next 3 Mondays or whatever it is that I have coming up, that these are times that they can come and check it out. And if you want, you could even just say the next one, because what does that do? That creates a sense of urgency. Instead of them going, oh, well, I have 3 different ones that I could go to. If you just put one date on there and it's like the very next one, then what might happen is they might look at it and go, oh, that'd be great, but you know what? I can't make that one. No problem, girl. I'm having one the next Monday as well. Would you be able to make that one? Okay, so it might be best to just do one date. Some people suggest 3. I say 1. Okay, all right. So number 5 is offer creative financing to those who need. Okay? Offer creative financing to those who need. One of the things that David and I have always shared with every single prospect is money is never a valid reason to not join Premier. We know the potential for profit in this company, and we do not ever want to see it be that people don't join the business because of the money. Okay? So offering creative financing to those who are in need is huge. So there's a couple different ways that could look. Okay. One of which is doing a fundraiser. So you could choose to do a fundraiser for that jeweler, prospective jeweler. Okay. And then everything that is earned through that you could use toward her startup. Okay, so that's one avenue. Another one is, and in fact, right here on Buffy's Toolbox group, if you go under files, there is a file that says 21 ways to make your dream a reality. And it gives 21 different places that people could potentially get money that maybe they just haven't thought of. Okay, so you could do that as well. And then the other thing is, sometimes it's not even so much a matter of the creative financing ahead of time. Sometimes it is that you offer a $200 cashback bonus following their training show. So in those cases, yes, they have to do an actual training show to be able to be qualified for that. And once they've qualified and uploaded that actual training show, then when Premier sends you the $200 training allowance for doing that jewelry show for them, then you would just reissue that $200 back to them. So it's not costing you anything other than you would have gone and done that jewelry show for them for free, okay? But it's not costing you anything out of pocket. You're not spending anything out of pocket, and they're getting a nice little $200 cashback rebate, okay? So a couple different things that you can do there. Number six is, do not attempt to talk anybody into anything. Okay. I so urge you to just totally resist the temptation to attempt to talk somebody into doing something. Okay, because here's the thing. If you have to talk someone into doing this business, you are going to have to constantly talk them into working their business. Okay, I always tell everyone, again, every single prospect hears this from me, that it is not my intention or my job to talk them into anything. My job is simply to provide them with enough information that they can make an educated decision. The rest is in their hands and God's. I'm out of it. Just let me know what I can do to serve you, and let me know how I can answer any questions that you might have, but I'm not going to talk anybody into anything. Okay, so do not do that. Resist the urge to do that. I don't care what contest you're going for. I don't care, like, it doesn't matter, like, you know, say it's June 29th and you are just trying like crazy to get Designer Circle. Don't try to talk them into anything. You simply give them the information and make yourself available for any questions or concerns they may have. Okay. All right. Number 7 is be genuinely interested in her and in her life. Okay. Listen, this goes back to people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. All right. Showing them that you truly have a desire to get to know them, and that it's not all just based on whether or not they sign up with Premier or not. It is a matter of like you genuinely wanting to get to know them. Because here's the thing. Even if for some reason she doesn't sign up, if you treat her like that's the only thing that matters to you, then guess what? You also just lost her as a hostess and a customer. Okay? You also just lost her as a potential friend that God had put in your path for a specific reason. All right? So keep in mind, we are not in the business of just signing people just for the sake of signing people. We're in the business to be able to offer the opportunity to those who may be in need, and to offer a dose of hope to those who are looking for something more. Okay. Terry says, want them to be on my team only if they want to be there. Made the mistake of doing that in the beginning. Yes. And here's the thing. I don't want to have to constantly be coaching some. Listen, I already have 2 kids that I have to constantly coach to doing their chores. I don't want to do that for people in the business. Okay. So yes. Okay. All right. And number 8, if you truly want to be able to sponsor people, number 8, if you do this and you focus on this, it's going to be much easier for you. Good morning, Angela. So number 8 is love what you do. If you do not genuinely love what you do, if you are not passionate about what you do, all these other things are not going to matter. They're just not. Because if people can't look at you and sense that excitement and sense that passion, then chances are they're not going to be quick to jump on board. Okay? Because it's kind of like, All right. So if someone is tasting something and they go, "Ooh, this doesn't really taste all that. Here, try this." Do you want to try it, or are you looking at them like, if that's gross, why do you want me to try it? Right? So, but that's kind of the same thing. If people ask how our business is going, and we are constantly like, "Oh, you know what? These shows are just not doing what they should be doing. And I'm just so discouraged because I got this going on and this going on. And I just don't even think that I have time for this." Y'all think you're going to sponsor that girl? Nope. She's not going to want any part of it. Okay. So I'm also not saying don't lie about your business. Don't say when people are like, "Hey, how's your business going?" "Girl, I'm just raking in the money." Okay. Don't be like that if you're not actually doing that. Okay. But the thing is, you need to be passionate about what you do, regardless of what the results are that you're currently getting. Does this make sense? Okay. So you don't just love what you do because you're getting the money. And if that's where you're at, sweetie, I urge you to change your attitude, okay? If you only love your business in the high moments, you got to get right, okay? You've got to get right, because you have got to love what you do all the time. You've got to be passionate about what you do all the time in order to be able to do anything positive in your business. Okay, if that makes sense. Now listen, I'm not saying that I love when someone cancels. Okay, I don't love that, but it doesn't change me being passionate about what I have to offer. It doesn't change me wanting to share this opportunity with people. It doesn't change me wanting to keep working with that next hostess. Okay, so we might not love every little thing that happens in the business, but you need to love what you do. Just saying. Okay. All right. So real quick, I do want to touch on this because this is why every month is the perfect time to get started in Premier. And I'm going to run through these quick because I promised my daughter I'd be done around 10. Okay. So January, starting the new year off right, plan to pay off those holiday bills. Okay. Now I'm going to go through these quick. So if y'all miss them, just come back for the replay and watch it again. February, spring, the new spring jewelry would have just been released in January. There's extra excitement because, again, people are starting to feel that whole cabin fever thing. March, the craziness of the holiday season is over and people are back to a normal budget. Okay, so typically by that time, they're ready to start thinking about making purchases for themselves again because they're off the mindset of having to do gifts. Okay, April, the start of spring, and people really are starting to get out and about doing more things. So it makes the whole aspect of getting together much more realistic when you don't have the issues of winter travel and all that kind of stuff. Okay, May, that is a great time for them to start getting their business set up for a great summer. Okay. Yes, Chantel, you have to love your business all day, every day in order to be successful. Amen. Okay. All right. June. It is before most summer vacations get started. So most people are still around to be able to attend shows. Okay. And host shows. So this is another reason why it's a great time for people to come in. July. Do I have to say much? The new line. I mean, hello. Okay. August. Now listen, Premier used to, I want to put this little bug in your ear. I have no inside knowledge of this, and this is pure speculation, okay? But here's what I'll tell you. For the last however many years, I can tell you that the 50%, the 30, 40, 50, usually happened for July and August. Anybody think it's a little strange that instead they had it for June and July? And I think that there might be a little bit of something coming that will be for after rally and possibly through August that may just have something to do with new jewelers. I'm just saying. Okay, like I said, pure speculation. I'm just kind of looking at things going, curious that they switched the months. I'm just saying. So Who knows? But I have a feeling that Premier is going to be offering something amazing. There are so many big changes coming, so many things happening. They're inviting former jewelers to join us at the training this year for free. Okay, there's something big coming. And y'all, you need to be ready for this. So I truly hope that you are starting to make a list of all the people that you need to talk to, that you need to be ready to share with, because especially for those of you who are going to rally, have those names, numbers, whatever written down, because I'm telling you, the second that that information is released, you are going to want to be contacting those people, okay? Or maybe you want to create a little group. I just thought of this. Maybe you could create a little group specifically for those people, and don't even tell them why you're putting them in there just yet. Okay, but maybe just say, I would love to add you to this little special group because I have a feeling that there is going to be an awesome promotion announced at Rally, and I would love for you to be one of the first people to hear about it. Would it be okay for me to put you into this group? And then have that group and then go live in the group when they start announcing that. How cool would that be? Oh, that just made me excited to think about doing that. Okay. All right. September, getting the first few shows in that month and getting comfortable before you start having a lot of shows for our biggest selling season, which of course is in October. They get to start off with the biggest selling season that we have all year long, which is usually October, November, December. Okay. November, of course, biggest month because of the holidays. December can get the first few shows under their belt before going into January and February to start off the next year right. So y'all, there is always the perfect time to start Premier. Every single month is the perfect month to come in. But I'm telling you, like I said, this is pure speculation, but I cannot help but think there is something huge getting ready to come in Premier that's going to be announced at Rally that y'all just need to be ready. You just need to be ready because I have a feeling that you might be sponsoring some new jewelers. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there. And I'm going to let y'all go because I got to get out here and see my daughter before she has to head off to work today. And I also have a haircut appointment. Thank heavens, because can y'all see how long? Like, do you see this? Crazy. So I have a hair appointment at 11:15 today, and I'm so excited because it needs done. Okay, so love you guys. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see y'all tomorrow.